Can you tell us what is secure MFA, multi-factor authentication, and why do customers need it?
When you're talking about MFA, you're talking about another factor for signing in other than just a username and password, which we're all used to. That's one factor. Multi-factor, as we know, is you're introducing something else. Maybe you're getting a push notification on your phone, maybe you're getting a text message, whatever. But that's not necessarily the most secure way to do it these days.
Oh.
So things used to be where you move from the text message to the push notification, that approve or deny. But we've seen various attacks where, just because of muscle memory, users just approve the first request that comes to their phone and they just let, the attacker in, and then it's
So even
useless.
though they didn't log in, they just see the message and muscle
Yeah.
memory say accept.
Yep.
You
I'm in a
know, it
meeting. I can't look at this, except, yep.
Yep.
Despite training,
Shut up,
people
phone.
don't, yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous. So we've seen that a few times. Things have gotten better since number matching was implemented, where you go to sign in and then it puts a 2-digit code on your screen, and then you have to look at your phone and then type in that 2-digit code or select it. That helps because then they can't kind of get in without that code. So that helps, but it's still not phishing resistant. So phishing resistant MFA is one of the controls that we look at as part of secure MFA, probably the most important one. And what that does is it takes the password out of the authentication sequence. So in the terms of the Microsoft ecosystem, you go to enter in your username, and then
Yep.
immediately it prompts you to insert your like a security key or certificate. So I personally use a 502 YubiKey, and I insert that little USB device
That's a
into.
hardware, like a hardware token, like the old RSA
Yep.
tokens that you plug it into your laptop, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So you,
Okay.
you you plug that in, and then it basically prompts you to enter a PIN, which is something you know. So you have the key, something you have, something you know. Type in the PIN,
The
and then it
pin.
asks you to touch the key. So it's not like biometric, but it wants you to be present with it. So then you touch that, and then that's it. You're signed in. So there was nothing to phish. Like there's no 2-digit code, there was no text message, there was no password. It was literally, do you have the key? Do you know the PIN? Are you present with it? And then you get in. So that's one way of doing phishing resistant MFA with Microsoft. You could also do Windows Hello for Business, which uses a certificate, or you could use some other form of certificate. But ultimately, it's either a certificate or it's a piece of hardware like a security key that on the 502 standard, such as YubiKey or various other vendors out there. So that's
Which
huge.
one is right? Which one is right? The right one to use.
I think it really comes down to, like a lot of things, business need, risk tolerance, budget, all those variables. But from what I've seen with customers, they typically start with the security key because it's the easiest thing to implement. Because when you're talking about, like a certificate authority, PKI, and all that fun stuff, it's more involved than just having this little key that you plug in. And
Yeah.
with RDP, you can bring over your clipboard, shared drives, your C drive, even the security keys. You can bring those over into remote desktop and use that key remotely too, which is really cool. So
Yeah.
it's pretty flexible. And you can get them for $25 to $50 depending on some of the features you want. So it's a good beginner's way to get into phishing resistant MFA.